and welcome to the Scratticus Academy. It is Monday again, so it is time for Eberron. Really quickly, if you check the chat, you will see lots of links popping up, YouTube, Discord, you name it, that's there. But also please check out our links for our sponsors. It's the reason we can keep doing this. So one of them is Bird in the Storm, and you can see links to their merch and all the bits and bobs down there, which is including our very own tool school. And also Mage Hand Press, who created the Dark Matter Alpha, which again, you can find all the links down there in chat. For this game, every 10 retweets and every 4 followers, we get to gift or curse these lovely people here with a trinket. Speaking of these lovely people, let's go around and say hi. So, first of all, hi Ash, Phoenix of 89.
Hello, I'm Ash and I'm playing Emet today, the Barbarian Warforged, who still has a trial to go through, or at least we still have to see what happened during their trial.
Yeah, it'll be fine. And also now we're going to hop down to a geeky tea party, or Kim.
Hello, I'm Kim, and I'm playing River, a shifter ranger. Oh my goodness. And I don't remember what we're doing at the moment. But I don't get much sleep. But I'm sure that I'll find out.
Awesome. And then we're going to hop over to our very lovely tool school.
Hello, I am Tall Squall. Great to see everyone again. I am playing Vesh, who is our Shindalari, Vesh Shindalari, who is our Kalistari, cleric and sorcerer. It's going to get interesting. He's the lost city of the giants, apparently, lies before us. You can find me all over the internet as Tall Squall, and hope to see you guys around there. Let me know if you see me elsewhere that you found me on Eberron.
And last but certainly not least, that's Salty Ginger or Lauren. Oh, hi.
Hi. Hello. I'm Lauren. I'm that Salty Ginger over on Twitter. She, her pronouns. Hi. Yes. Things that I do. I play Tart, who's a changeling bard, and everything's going good. She did like a really good job. She didn't lie like at all in her trial, so baller. That's pretty much what I have to say here at the beginning.
You're so happy about that. So last episode we saw Vesh, Tart and River go through the trials, and they also discovered the Soul Stone. And after going through these trials, they then encountered the lost city of the giants. And we are already at 10 retweets, so I'm just going to give you all a number now. So Emet 1, Vesh 2, River 3, Tart 4. So let's roll that now. If I can spell, which I cannot. Before, Lauren, could you roll me a D100, please?
That's a 3.
Is it? I have not scrolled all the way down. It is one of those days already. A 3. River, could you please roll a D100 for me, please?
Yes.
I swear my brain is functioning. So, however, before the trials took place, as they waited at the gate with this sort of spiritual figure and Vesh's mother, the spiritual figure approached Emet and Blue. Shaking their head, they reached out. And Emet, you feel them touch like your chest plate, and it's almost like you feel like you've been pushed backwards. But in the blink of an eye, you're stood in another room. Your friends are all gone. Blue is still there with you, looking a little confused and looking about this room, which is not a hallway. It doesn't feel like that. It is a room made up of metal. A metal ceiling, 4 metal walls, and a metal just sort of floor. You can hear it as Blue moves, clanking with his footsteps around. And this is huge. It is completely empty, apart from what is embedded on the far wall. On the far wall, there is a huge warforged. It's like it's been set into the wall itself, into this metal, like a casing. It looks as if it was made for this warforged. And when I say giant warforged, this is at least 10 times your size. This is big. You can see blades protruding from the back and its forearms. Clenched in one almost claw-like hand is a huge 3 sort of bladed weapon. Its claws sort of curl over around this hilt, and it wears a helmet with sharp ridges, almost giving it features, like more features than you've ever seen, very harsh one, almost giving it a very jutting jawline, like it's giving it a frown. And you've never seen something like this. This Warforged don't look angry. They have very simple features on their face, but this is intricate. This is harsh.
Emet will turn to Blue and be like, Blue, that's not your giant that you saw in the sky, is it?
And Blue takes a few steps forward, looks up at this huge, like, hulking creature. I think it is. And sort of is walking, looking it up and down.
Well, I think this is what Tart calls is fine. This is fine.
This is fine. And sort of Blue just repeats that back to you. I'm sorry, my cat is digging up the door. Hang on. There we go. And Blue just sort of repeats to you, this is fine.
Yeah. Fine.
This creature doesn't move. As I said, it's like it's set back into the wall and it towers above you. And as you stand there, that same spirit that pushed you just briefly in how you ended up in this room, you hear its voice from behind you. He's sleeping.
What happens when he wakes up?
Probably not anything good.
Didn't think so.
Don't know when he'll wake up.
Emet will go up and like look at the seams to see how, is it welded into the walls? Is it seamless? Is it just inset?
Can you roll me a perception check, please?
You know what? I'll use a reroll.
Okay.
Oh. There we go.
On a 22, you can look at this wall. You look along the edges where it looks like it sinks back into the wall. This has been perfectly made for this creature. Even the blades have rivets to hold it. And you can see around the feet, around the arms, around the waist, there are these like locks, these big bands of metal. But you suspect that there's something more holding this in place. Because looking at this bands, the size of this creature and what it's made of, you believe it could snap it and just walk straight out. But its eyes are dull. There's no light there.
Emet turns to the spirit. It's like, why, while it's sleeping, didn't you pull out parts? So
Can't.
it can't pick up. Oh.
No how.
Hmm.
Who do you think it is? You must have heard of it. Well, to be fair, probably not a lot of people. There's a lot of air of mystery about it. And again, this sort of spiritual figure, there's not really any features on this. It's almost like you're talking to a shadow sort of esque.
Can I make a history roll to see if I have heard of him?
Yes, you can. So wish. Okay. On an 18, you've heard many things about this, especially being a Warforged. However, you don't know which is true. Everything is rumor. This isn't supposed to exist. This is a myth. Some believe it is a creation of House Cannith, a juggernaut that was going to be used for war. Some say it was created by the King of Breland, and others believe it is a man-made god that will end the reign of anyone who is not made of metal.
Huh.
This is not supposed to be something. It shouldn't be here. It shouldn't be real. This, you know, is the Lord of Blades. A huge Warforged that its sole purpose is to seek out and destroy. Other Warforged will not stop it.
Whoa. That's not good.
And Blue is sort of just looking around, not touching it, but sort of reaching out every now and then, more sort of measuring his hand up against this other Warforged hand to see the size difference. And then looking at his far more rounded fingers, there's no points, this is like a Warforged built as armor.
That would be cute if the giant Warforged wasn't so disturbing.
Unsettling, isn't it?
Very. So, why are we here?
And the spirit looks up at this Lord of Blades and then looks back at you. If he rose again, what would you do? What side would you fight on? I mean, he is your kind.
A few months ago, that probably would have been a very difficult question to answer. I'd have to stop him.
Now. He'd kill you.
Yeah. But all those stories are myths. He was supposed to be a myth. Maybe I could tear off a leg before he killed me.
That's the spirit. As this sort of entity looks at you, you almost detect a smile, but it's not really there. And then this sort of figure in front of you starts to fade and become something else. It looks human. A human you recognize. A very strong, broad man, weathered, stubble on his chin, scar across his face. Dressed in armor, this is your commander from Cyre. You followed orders. And he steps forward with a smile on his face. He puts an arm on your shoulder. Just puts a hand, sorry, on your shoulder. You are one of the best, Emet. Best we had.
It seems like an exaggeration.
Is it?
It was good, but it wasn't the best.
You're still alive, aren't you?
So are a lot
Broken
of
into
them.
bits. You can see his eyes just sort of scan over you. His hand does not move. You missed it? War, I mean. You know, being in the heat of battle. I do.
There is a deep, deep primal part that does. Yes.
Is what you were made for.
Yes.
And this man that stands in front of you moves back and stands there rigidly. His mouth doesn't move, but you still hear his words as he stands almost more like an image now rather than the person itself. He died. You survived. Do you feel guilt? At all? You killed so many that day, those days, more than a day. Would you change it if you could?
Yes. I feel guilt. Whether or not I would change it would really just depend on if I could get different questions that I never asked answered.
You blindly followed orders. Do you make decisions now, or are you still following orders? You protect Heart because she told you to.
At that, Emet goes quiet, and his eyes dim just a little as he goes very introspective and really thinks about that. Because yes, he is just following orders. But he likes the orders. Like, these are ones that this is a protect order. This isn't a go kill this order. This is a we're your friends, so help us order. This is not don't question and just do. And as he thinks about all of this, like, his eyes start shifting different colors. There's a small moment where he does realize that he's just following orders. But there's then the moment that he realizes that he's choosing to follow these orders. And so his eyes kind of come back to the blue. It's like, yeah, I am following the orders. But I do it because I want to.
Do you think you could give orders?
Yes.
Could you command other Warforged?
I don't know. I've never thought about it. He kind of turns to Blue and shrugs and was like, yeah, I guess I can.
And Blue is just sort of looking over at you, and he looks back, and he's talking. You can't see anyone there, but you can hear him talking. And this voice, again, comes from this, your old commander. Would you refuse commands? Tart has told you to leave before, told you to not guard her side. It's told Blue to leave before. Blue didn't leave.
Yes, I can ignore commands. But I do have to think about it. It is not natural.
So you are not a natural commander. But if you wanted to be, if you really thought about it, you could. Could you run your own army? Could you be powerful? Could you become a myth?
Why would I want to?
Greatness. Everyone forgets the Warforged. Everyone. Where are you in the history books? Where are you on the tapestries? You may be a myth, but they haven't forgotten him. And he points up at the Lord of the Blades. He is terrifying.
Ymet turns and looks at him. He is. But I don't want to be remembered as terrifying. I don't want to be remembered as a glorious war hero. It's not glorious. I don't want to be remembered so other people can lead other beings to their doom and destruction. If there's something worth fighting for, I will, but I'm not just going to lead just to do it.
So you do make a choice. Are you happy doing that? If everyone left tomorrow, what would you do? What would you do without Tart, Vesh, River? What if you didn't even have Blue? He's become quite dependent on you, which is interesting for a Warforged. What would you do? Why are you here? Why are you on this adventure, we'll call it? What is your purpose?
Vesh should make it through. Right now, that is my purpose.
And when Vesh is done and had enough, grown up, and look after himself, then what? Can't guard Tart forever. In fact, she's very good at guarding herself.
She's got 2 guns now. I think she's fine.
What will you do when this is over? Go back to the forest?
I considered it, but no. Maybe I'll go to a different city and find different people and different Warforged.
Would you leave Blue?
No.
And your commander's face looks over at the sort of empty space that Blue seems to be talking to. He thinks you'd be great. A great leader. Not how I think, but he does think. He also thinks that the group will be together forever. What do you think?
I think Blue has a very young mind, somehow. I don't know how that happened. He's a very innocent mind. I don't think the group would be together forever.
He was a special creation.
That's not surprising. Interesting. Not surprising.
The clever thing about Warforges, you can make them as small as you want or as big as you want. And he sort of looks up at the Lord of the Blades. Thing is, Warforged are pretty useless, small. Especially when you give them a childlike mind. But then what happens when you modify them, make them bigger? You can't change the mind.
I don't know.
Then Blue gets passed on. People get fed up. He doesn't grow up with his mind.
So Blue is timeless.
That he is. Created on a whim and left. Modified, moved on, passed on from person to person. He was a very special type of Warforged. There were two like him. There's only one left now. He will always be like that.
Is that truth, or is that just what you think?
It's truth. He doesn't have that many memories because a child wouldn't. It's designed to reset. He's fascinated by stories. Dragons, giant Warforged. Because that's what he was designed to like.
Then it sounds like after all this is said and done, I'll have to become a storyteller.
He would serve a purpose again. You would have a listener. And he looks back up at this giant Warforged. You sure? You wouldn't want to be, you know? And it sort of slowly, you see the image of your commander almost like drip away back into this sort of spiritual face. You sure?
Yeah. All the blades kind of make him look like I don't know, it looks kind of trashy.
Trashy?
And it's like a porcupine. Just sticking out everywhere. But like a metal, rusty one.
Would you say that to him when he wakes up?
If I remember to, I will.
Okay. And as this happens, you see a door almost appear, like an archway of metal appear the other side of the room. You may go through, and your young friend, Blue, he speaks of a toy he had, though he doesn't know where it came from. It might be nice to get him a small red dragon.
Oh.
And
thank you.
Blue walks over to you. Are we ready?
Let's go.
let's go. And he starts to walk towards the archway. The spiritual figure just nods to you.
Emmett nods back.
And sort of guides you out of the door. And as you step through this door and into the corridor, it's like it closes behind you and you see the whole room, the Lord of the Blades and this spirit disappear. And you walk through this corridor, a corridor which begins as metal but merges into stone. It opens up into this huge, huge space. A towering ceiling carved into the rock itself, a city. Buildings sort of built on top of the rock, within the rock. They're both part of each other. Huge rope bridges that connect all of these platforms together as you see giants walk these paths, laughing, conversing, going about their daily business. And to your right, you see the others stand there as they've just left their own corridor.
Emmett takes Blue's hand and walks up behind them.
He takes it.
So, when's the trial start?
And the rest of you see him. And Blue.
We've already been through ours. Did you not go through yours?
You did? What'd you have to do?
Well, there was that woman who was acting like she was my mother. She wasn't. And I talked with a spirit for a while, and then I killed that woman.
We got the magic orb.
Wow.
In the tapestry, the big orb that held back the shadows and split them up.
Maybe Warforged aren't allowed to do trials.
Or maybe you have a different trial. Where have you been?
Oh, I was being warned that there's a giant Warforged god that might come to life and I may have to fight it one day.
That might qualify. Like the Warforged from the tapestries, the one that was killing the dragons and giants?
Kind of.
He's here.
Well, he's somewhere. In a room with, no doors, metal room.
And
Welded
lots
to a wall.
of
Yes.
blades.
Lots and lots of blades.
That's disturbing.
He looked wrong. Angry. And wrong.
Angry giant Warforged covered in blades sounds even more disturbing.
I bet you could take him, Emmett.
Supposedly no one can.
He obviously hasn't met Tart.
True. We'll just have to gang up on him when he wakes up.
You stand there in this city. Giants everywhere. You see the sort of the greenery hanging from the ceilings, the sunlight that's breaking just about through this lost city. They don't seem to pay you any mind. Every now and then one walks past and looks at you and keeps going.
So, I mean, they're corporeal and
Yeah.
they They're corporeal and we're corporeal, so yeah.
They're not necessarily shocked you're here. They don't seem to be attacking. They don't seem to be confused. And behind you, a familiar voice of the elf. Hello, you got through then? Past trials could see not dead.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep. We made it through.
Ah, okay, brilliant. Follow me. And she starts to stride off into this huge city.
This is the elven woman?
This is the elven one, the one that was cooking, the one that gave
Right,
you
yeah.
goggles.
You said you were making dinner?
Oh, yeah, that's just a little old me. I mean, if you want something, you may as well get something here, right?
Looking around big new city.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know, Vesh. The food looked a little dubious.
Well, maybe they've got better stuff here.
Maybe.
They might have like burritos like the size of Blue.
Oh, I never thought of that. Okay, let's check it out.
And she's marching off. You see, she's got changed a little bit. She's in almost like a big green skirt, a very sort of what looks like a very warm coat over the top, apron still tied around her waist, goggles perched up on her head. She's like, oh, don't mind them. Just make sure they don't tread on you.
Are there any other people of our size here?
No, none at all.
And everything is of giant scale.
Is of giant scale. You
That
can
should-
hear like a clang of a hammer from a blacksmith, and the sparks fly. You see them chatting and talking. You can see them. You can really smell the heaviness of beer and cooking food and wood burning is what you can smell mostly.
So just to get a picture in my mind, is everything sort of like double our size, quadruple our size, like 8 times our size? I mean, what size scale is this built to?
Talking about 6 times your size.
6 times our size. Okay. So yeah, so we're basically coming up to people's kneecaps.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, the equivalent of being about 2 feet tall or 1.5 to 2 feet tall. Okay.
I think halfling level now.
Yeah, even little
Yeah.
halfling, quarterlings.
Yep, you are quarterlings right now to this lot.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm all for giant food. Hey, Tart.
Yes.
I bet there's giant shops.
What would we buy at the giant shop?
I don't know. You usually find something, though.
That is true.
I mean,
Why don't you lead us around though? You seem more comfortable here.
I was also thinking, think about it. You could like buy like just a little ring for one of them. You could wear like a belt.
I like how you think, Vesh.
I mean, think of like that ring that you've got with the big diamond in it or whatever that is. Sapphire, diamond. I don't know my gems.
I literally have so many things on me I don't even remember.
So, but think about it. So basically, if you had that stone, that's it'd be like a belt buckle size diamond.
Good thinking, good thinking. Okay, we can get food and then we can go look around the shops.
We also kind of need to keep an eye out probably for the temple. I'm not sure if it would be here or elsewhere, but maybe we go to the tavern?
Every now and then you hear, good morning, Alia, to the elf, and you hear her just like, hello, as she sort of walks up and some of the giants sort of acknowledge her and smile and wave down at her and continue what they're doing throughout the day. And she's like, you were talking about the temple, weren't you? You were talking about the gate as well.
Yeah?
Yeah. I will take you over to Buva. Boover will probably help you with that. But if you want something to eat first, then we can do that.
Always? I mean, if everyone else wants to eat, I don't want to like... Yes, please.
Okay, well, this way. And she marches off. You can see she sort of weaves very elegantly in between like these huge footsteps that are settling on the ground, and every now and then some dust kicks up, which is more of like a proper dust cloud for you. And she leads you up to what looks like is a tavern, but there's a lot of outdoorsy, sort of an outdoor area where people are standing and sitting, and you can smell meat and cooking vegetables. That's mainly what you can smell more than anything. And you can see large joints of meat going around. You're not too sure what animal this is from. It's not oversight. It's not like how a chicken leg would be to you. It's smaller than that. But they're being plonked down on these tables. So help yourself. Just tuck in.
I kind of looked at Tart. Do we need money?
Oh, no, you're fine. You're fine. Come on. Like, and she sort of takes you round to the side of one of the benches. And one of these sort of like benches, you can see some stairs have been built into it, just a couple of steps that she walks up. So, come on.
Okay.
And you almost head up to this other platform where they're sitting down, but you can stand on top of this platform. And food is put in front of you, and you can see what looks like a huge ale jug that Alia takes some smaller cups out of and starts scooping out of this jug and handing them out to all of you.
Thanks. I kind of look over the river. Have you ever seen an animal that was ever that big before? Whatever this like joint of giant meat is off of.
I don't think so. I'll smell it. Doesn't smell familiar.
If anything, the closest you can sense it smells like is like steak. Like beef steak is what it smells like the most.
So do you think they've got like giant cows?
Maybe giant cows or something equivalent to giant cows.
Do you know anything about giant livestock, Emmett?
I don't really eat, so I don't typically think about farming.
Oh.
Sorry, Vesh.
Right. Okay.
Makes sense.
So I'll like look around. I mean, are we at like a big like communal table and there's like giants sitting around us?
Yeah, in fact, one of the giants comes down. You feel the table move as it sits down, and it looks at you, and it looks at all of you, and then specifically at Vesh. You're tall for a little one.
I am. I'm Vesh. Hi.
Hello. And it just sort of it's not glaring at you because it's furrowing its brow as it looks at you. This huge sort of white beard, a very large sort of rounded nose, and very old eyes.
Do I recognize like his giant type?
Probably not. Probably not necessarily a giant type unless you want to. This is a very standard.
Yeah. So we came all the way from Sharn. Does he seem like chatty, or is he like dismissing us?
No, he seems quite chatty. If anything, he's looking at you very inquisitively, and he sort of reaches out a finger and points at Emmet and blows it. Is that where these came from?
I don't think originally. Emmett, where are you from? Like, from?
Like where I was made?
Yeah, I guess that's. Is that rude to ask?
I actually don't know. I don't think so.
So, I'm originally from Cyre, but we all met in Sharn. Emmett is from.
I was made in Cyre.
So are we all from Cyre? No, River, you're not from Cyre. Your family's from elsewhere.
You're muted.
No, I'm not from Cyre. I'm from far away from there.
And Tart's from Sharn. I think her whole family's from Sharn. Like from a long.
Well, my family is.
Oh, right.
Sure, from Sharn. That sounds good to me.
You could
Today
feel,
she's from Sharn.
yeah, today she's from Sean. You could feel Tyron not shaking, but he's gone very quiet as he's not even paying attention to the food. Like the drink has been thrust in his hand by Alia as he's looking up, wide-eyed, at this giant. And this giant looks at you and like, well, it is a pleasure to meet you all, I must say. It is very rare that we have newcomers here. You must have done well in the trials.
I guess. They
Well,
said to tell the truth, so I did.
I guess the alternative was to die, so I assume we did well.
Die or be maimed, it depends on what you do.
Okay.
We had one come through here. He didn't tell the truth. He's fine. He's alive. But Bouvier sent him down into the tunnels. That's where they keep him.
The tunnels?
It's where we keep those and block them off. Like a prison. There's only one down there.
How long ago was that?
And you see him sort of ponder for a moment. A few suns ago.
Oh,
Interesting.
interesting, because isn't Bova who I look over to the elf woman? Isn't Bova who you said we were going to go see?
Yes, he sent him down there. He sent this newcomer down there.
Oh.
Did the newcomer have anything with him?
Yes, 4 Warforged. And something that doesn't belong to him, it has all been confiscated.
Huh.
What kind of Warforged are you? You don't bear the same emblem.
As in, what was my original purpose?
Who do you serve?
Oh. Myself.
Interesting.
Sometimes Tart.
Oh. A Warforged that sometimes serves itself. Huh. Yes, no, these were branded with the House Caniff, so they were disposed of.
I think Cole's ahead of us, guys.
I think Cole's been stopped.
I don't know. He still might be pretty dangerous. And got sent to where we went.
Well, I thought he was sent to a prison in a little tiny tunnel.
What?
He's been sent below the earth. He's in a prison, a jail cell. Is that what you call it?
Oh.
I'm sorry. I thought you sent him on his way to Bova.
Oh, no, Bova is the one who put him in the cell.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I wasn't understanding. I was worried because we think he's down here to do not good things.
Not anymore. He's someone who was trying to be clever with words with Bova. Did not end well.
Why would anyone ever try to do that? That seems really silly.
He was rude to Bova. And had malintentions.
You said that he had something that wasn't his?
Correct.
Was it a shield?
And this giant's eyes narrow a little. Why do you ask?
Because Vesh sort of turns around, and I guess probably pulls his cloak aside because he keeps it sort of over it. Because I have the other one.
And this giant not stands, but sits upright. You feel his hands go on the table as he pushes himself upright. You wear his shield, you wear the key.
Yeah, but I kind of just found that out.
And you can see sort of a smile perk up on his lips. Then you must be the Kalishtar.
Yeah, I am a Kalistari. Yeah.
Interesting.
Maybe I should have mentioned before. I have a Kiore, which
I know. I can feel it. Yeah.
Ulgolra, who I think used to be here with all of you.
And this giant sits back with like a huff and a bit of a chuckle to himself. It's been a long time since I heard that name. A very long time.
We're here to try to help.
He sort of sighs like, that makes a good change.
I mean, what else are you going to do? It just seems like when all the people who are doing bad things just make a mess for everyone, including themselves.
True, but some people like doing that to the world. Don't ask me why, I don't understand it. It's the reason we're down here. No offense, but people are. Ugh.
We've met a few of our own. We've got more of a, I guess, deity problem on our hands as well.
Yes.
Well,
you should speak with Bova. I'm
yeah,
on
maybe.
My lunch break.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt. We should do talk heavy things.
Not interrupting. I'm just telling you I'm running out of time.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll let you eat then. I know I never work very well if I don't get a good lunch break.
He sort of laughs and smiles and briefly turns and shares some words with the other giants next to him. And Alia has sort of dug into some of this meat herself and got a beer in one hand. She's just like, this is really good. Have you tried it yet?
At that point, Vesh would be like, oh, I know I was talking. And just start.
And this does taste amazing. You can tell it's been cooked over a fire. It's got that smoky sort of smell to the meat and taste. And you can sit there.
Yeah. You should try some river.
Okay. Do you think they have bread for burritos?
It's like bread, like bread basket or anything on the.
You can see one of the giants is slicing up this fairly huge.
She said like a sleeping bag sized loaf of bread.
Yeah, this loaf of bread. And sort of looks at you both looking at him and just points to the bread.
Are you thinking what I'm thinking, River?
Oh, yeah.
Burrito the size of Blue! Yay!
And this giant
the assembly project.
takes a slice of this bread, nudges the giant that was near you to pass it over to you, which he does. He drops it in front of you. This huge piece of bread, which Blue goes and sort of looks over and sort of pokes slightly, but then returns to Emmet's side.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna be busy engineering my way through how to build a burrito out of a sleeping bag sized tortilla.
You can easily do that with everything you have and sit there and roll that up. You will be very, very full.
This is probably the one time where Vesh's eyes are bigger than his stomach.
That's exactly what we're going to be doing.
You can sit there, you eat, you drink, you're full, until Alia sort of looks at you. She's all done. She's sort of wiping her face on her apron. He's like, ready?
Yeah. He kind of like takes some last little chunk of giant burrito and shoves it into his backpack.
And she jumps down off of this bench again and starts heading up. She walks up this, almost like this rope bridge of planks of wood, which as you move, it barely wobbles until an actual giant steps on it, and then you really feel it. So, Vesh.
Oh no.
Could you please roll me a dex save or an athletics, whichever you would prefer.
Being familiar with rope bridges, I think that we'll go with that. He was white knuckling it in athletics.
Yep.
12.
You're not doing too badly. If anything, the more giant the wave on this rope bridge, the steadier you are. You sort of take these much larger steps, and as you do, you sort of wobble a little bit. You probably all do. Vesh, you don't fall over or anything, but you feel these steps as this giant just strides along past you. Another goes past, with creating that same wave again as you walk up, and you actually hear them go, sorry, like as sort of gesturing as you walk up this rope bridge. And Alia takes you across many rope bridges, across platforms, all made out of wood. And you pass many, many giants just doing everyday things. You see, it doesn't seem to be any shops per se. This looks like this is not a money exchange. This is a product exchange. And you see blacksmiths, you see clothes, you see food, all manner of things. But the actual atmosphere here seems to be very light-hearted. And as you get higher and higher up, you reach a final platform up by the rock. And this hut, the front of it, seems to be only part of it. The rest of it is carved into the rock itself. And Alia walks through the open door. And this is very simple. You see a lot of furs, you see a lot of wood and carved stone. You see two giants stand over a table with maps. They look up, see Alia, see all of you, and smile. One of them nods and ducks out of the room past you to reveal this one giant who is announced to you as Bova, all in sort of metal and fur as he stands there in this great room. Welcome, friends. Please come in.
Hello? Hi.
Hello. And he sort of looks at you always like, you're all done, Alia, don't worry about it. So she just sort of goes, I'll be back in a bit, and sort of gives a little signal and then ducks out of this hut herself. And Bova looks to all of you. You passed the trial.
Yes, sir.
Yes?
Well, fantastic, fantastic. Come, sit around. And there are some furs laid out on the floor and what seem to be like these cushions and sort of padded areas, which he goes and sits down onto one of these. You can sit as well. It's my home. You may sit.
Oh, thank you for inviting us in. And Vesh sort of goes over and kind of plops himself down. He's used to sitting on the floor. He's used to feeling big and sitting on the floor for that reason. And so now he's kind of like sitting on the floor and feeling very small.
And around you in the center of the room, you see like a fire pit, which is, it's not a roaring fire. It's a very steady fire. And he takes a jug and takes a huge sort of like flask, looks at you all, puts it back, leans back a bit further, goes through, picks up some smaller cups and starts to fill them before passing them around to all of you. He does ones for the Warforged as well. He does it for Emet and Blow without thinking. Tyron sort of takes it with a sort of a shaking hand. And he looks to all of you.
Thank you. I guess we were supposed to come see you.
I am Buva. It is wonderful to meet you all. And
It's wonderful to meet you too.
Warforged. You travel with Warforged, and he looks to the others, and then looks to the Warforged. You travel with non-Warforged. As friends or as servants?
Emet just looks to Vesh to answer that because Emet knows. But it's better to be heard from the people.
He's kind of, he's definitely our friend, but he's even more, he's our family. They both are.
Blue gives a little wave just from the corner. And Buva is like, it's good to know. I don't believe I've seen that sort of relationship before. It's nice to see that you are not a servant, Warforged. It's very nice indeed. And your names, if you will.
I'm Vesh, and I don't know the protocol. I know I'm not supposed to be rude, so I'm also Ulgoa.
And this giant sort of nods and smiles. I thought I sensed him nearby.
He's been with me for a long time. Needs help.
Glad he's found a home at last.
Everyone else can introduce himself. I have questions.
And he looks over to the Warforged.
Hi, Emet. The little fellow is Blue.
Blue again holds his hand up like a wave. And you?
I'm River. It's nice to meet you.
It is nice to meet you too, small one. And you?
Who, me?
Yes, you.
Hi. I'm Tart. Just Tart.
Well, just Tart. It is very nice to meet you. And you hear Tyron like, Tyron, that's me. And Navi perks up as well. You said you had questions. As do I.
Where do I even start? Well, I was a matter at hand. So, I have one of the shields
You do.
of 2,
You do.
and the Dalkior are active. I think they've been out in the world for a while, but they've been sort of hiding in the dreaming dark. But now they're like getting inside of people and taking over them. And they've been talking to me, giving me visions, wanting me to come open the door. But I think that's bad. But I think Cyre's destruction was partly my fault. Well, all my fault. We were in the dreaming dark, and I cast a fog cloud, and it flowed out over the city in the dreaming dark, the city just like Cyre. And while I don't understand it, even though I did that like a couple days ago, it was actually back then and was corrupted and moved from the dreaming dark into our world. And I want to set it right.
There is no time in the dreaming dark. Yes, you are a child of the mist, and yes, then you have caused this. But it was not done maliciously. Yes, it must be solved. It needs to be sorted, because it's spreading, or so I've heard.
We saw that from the towers of Sharn.
The mist itself has weakened the barrier between here and the dreaming dark. It's been manipulated, twisted. It is growing in there. Thus, why it moves in this world and why it creeps towards Sharn. Need to go in there and fix it.
So we've got the orb, and we've got one of the shields. And it sounds like you stopped Cole Cannith, who we think had the other shield.
You can see him sort of grimace at that, like, yes, him. I do have the other shield. You seek to open the door?
Well, that's what I'm worried about. Because the Dark Man, the Dalkior, wants me to open the door, but I don't know any other way to get back to try to fix what I did set wrong without opening the door.
Open the door so he can flood out. However, you have the Soul Stone. Have you ever looked at that properly?
No, but we just got it like half an hour ago.
Ah, it's because it trusted you then. Otherwise you wouldn't have got it. And as you can see, which I think just Tart has seen, and he sort of smirks at that, you saw the souls within them. They are Dalkior. They're the ones that tried to come out before. When the door opens, it will activate again. It will give you a very brief moment to get in the door and re-shut it without them flooding out. Yes, 1 or 2 may escape, but you can stop it from the inside anyway. The mist is feeding them.
Okay. So, from the little flashes in my vision, it takes 2 people to open the door, each one with a shield.
That it does.
Does it need to be another Kalishtar?
No. That's why Cole Cannith was so dangerous that he had it. It is a key at the end of the day. And he is a driven man because he is desperate. Desperate men are the scariest.
Did he say why? What he wanted it for? Why he wanted to open it?
Oh, it's a promise he made. It's a promise one of those that came before him, one of his house, hundreds of years ago, promised. They owed it to the traveler. The traveler promised them wealth, promised them glory, status. It's how House Cannith became what it was. It's how they produced the Warforged. You need war for Warforged. When the war raged, the Warforged were created by House Cannith. Their income, their money, their status. You open that door again, you have war. They will have money, status, and more Warforged will be created. He has made a similar deal with the Traveler.
I have a theory, but I'm not sure if Vesh has a theory. Well, can we get the other shield from you to try to go do this thing?
If the Soul Stone picked you, then I don't see why not. Or the Dragon's Eye, as others have called it. You may. I will send it to your hut this evening. We have prepared a hut for you, or I will have one prepared for you at least. It was a gift from the dragons many, many years ago.
It's okay. I don't think there's anyone who I'd rather carry the other shield than Emmet.
Will it work with a Warforged?
It's a key. If you wish it, then of course. It's not like we can converse with the dragons like we once did. Not yet, anyway.
Okay, then.
I will send it to you, along with food, drink. And he looks over to all of you. We will know when the war has come, as the dragon will rise again.
Oh.
Do not fear the dragon, though. They are good, as much as the stories do tell them in a fierce manner. They are good.
Okay. Okay. I have a, I guess, more personal question.
Please go ahead.
I don't know a lot about my people. I wasn't raised among them. But when we were in the Dreaming Dark, I saw Ugolo there. And he seemed confused and alone. Is there a way? Is that where he belongs? Didn't feel like that's where he belongs.
I don't know why he would be there. That is upsetting.
It didn't feel good to me either.
If he got in, then there must be a way out. Just as you have left. I don't know where, I don't know why, how. But if you can get in somewhere, that means there's a door, and doors work both ways.
Right. Okay. There's a chance.
There is always a chance, Vesh. Always. If you wish to pay tribute to the dragon, I may take you down, or I may send you straight to your huts where your food, drink, comforts will be seen to.
Hey, River.
Yeah.
Do you want to go see a dragon?
Yeah.
I do too. Emmett? Do you want to go pay tribute to the dragon?
Let's go see a dragon.
Tart?
Okay.
Kind of look to Blue and Tyre and everyone else.
Tyron, I'm staying here. Like, he's just like, I'll meet you at the hut. How about that? I'll meet you at the hut.
Okay.
He's a big scaredy cat.
As I go by Tyre, if we're heading our way out, I'll be like, get Tart something nice for when we come back. Expensive and pretty drink.
Expensive and right. Do giants do that? Like, he's like asking Navi as they both walk out.
You have a quest.
And they disappear out through this doorway, and you can see Alia appear and guide them away. As Boover stands, then follow me. And he walks to the back of his hut and moves this huge sort of circular stone out of the way to a tunnel and begins to walk down. This is a big tunnel. This is a giant can fit down it. And he leads you down to this down through this tunnel, deeper and deeper into the rock. And it's fairly dark all the way, apart from the odd torch here and there. And he looks to you all. Please be respectful. He is asleep. And the giant strides into this room, this huge open cavern. And there, at the center of it, surrounded by trinkets, gifts, silk, food, all manner of things. You can see magical items, like these little trinkets that every now and then sort of set off this light. It's this huge red dragon, curled up, almost like a cat. Sleeps. You see its chest rise and fall, as it almost takes up this entire cavern.
Red, like the one I've seen in my dreams.
Mm-hmm. Same as the toy.
And that's the one I saw.
That is an impressive creature.
Yeah.
He's a king among creatures. As the giant steps forward, you can see he brings forth what looks like a brass bowl with some sort of liquid in it. And he just goes and lays it down close to this dragon's head, almost like an offering, and bows down. As he does, you see all of his hair sort of swoosh back as the breath from the huge dragon nostrils sort of blow his hair back as it snores, and you can hear that rumble in its chest.
I think I've got this right. I look to Volva. Ulgora and he were friends, right?
When he was awake, yes. They were almost one in the same. Almost like now you and Ogora.
Can I let Ogora say hello?
If you wish. I don't know how, but if you wish. I mean, he'll eat you if he doesn't like it. As you see this giant, like, just this huge grin goes across his face.
Oh, I'll be respectful. So I, Vesh, trembling, trying to look confident, just steps forward and goes and just sort of lays a hand on the dragon's like foreclaw or whatever, and just sort of opens his mind and just sort of says, "It's your old friend."
And you feel this, you don't see it. It's like another hand reaches through your hand and settles on this dragon's claw. A huge hand, almost laying over the top of yours. And you see the dragon sort of take a quick breath and sigh. And this air hits you, fairly warm air, but it hits you hard, and you almost have to struggle to stay upright. But it's a relaxing sigh as you see the chest go down. And you feel a warmth between those hands. And you can feel that those scales, rigid, but they're not harsh.
Mm-hmm.
Almost smooth, glass-like feeling. And you're not sure who it is, but you do hear the words, "Hello, friend," but you're not sure who it's coming from. And the rest
That's
of you
just
see Vesh approach a dragon.
Yeah, Vesh just stands there reverently, sort of to let that play out.
Emet will lean over to the giant. Like, so, when will he wake up?
I don't know. It's been a long time. It's hibernating. Might call it.
The second giant deity-esque creature that I've seen today that's hibernating.
The giant looks at you, looks to all of you, and then back at the dragon and Vesh. We should leave him now. He should rest.
Vesh takes his hand off and just kind of looks back, kind of probably a little watery in the eyes, probably, not crying, but just a little watery in the eyes, and walks back to the group.
Shall we go? Unless there is anything else you wish to do or offer something, it is up to you.
Emet will pull the mirror that he has in his bag. The one that shows you when you age. And at first he's like, "Blue, look into the mirror. What do you see?"
Blue looks, he takes the mirror. His eyes blink, sort of a green and then a blue. I see me.
Perfect. Would you like to give this to the dragon?
And he sort of holds it quickly in both hands, like when you give a child something to go and put in like a thank you. Says, "I can give it to a sort of dragon. I like red dragons.
I thought you might.
And Blue walks over very slowly, not with any hesitation. If anything, he looks quite confident doing it. Goes right up to the dragon's nose, lays the mirror down, and just one pat on the nose. Turns around and walks straight back to you.
Good job, Blue.
Thank you.
When does anyone else? Has anyone else got things they're leaving? Or not really? Vesh, when Bulva says that, and having seen that Bulva left something, Vesh walks back over and kind of looks at this dragon and may over his shoulder. Does he have a name?
Not one he has spoken to me,
Okay.
at least.
Oh,
But from deep within you, you hear Ilborg. His name is Ilborg.
Vesh walks over, goes. Hilborg, meet Frederick. He'll watch over your dreams.
You place Frederick down. Whereabouts do you place Frederick?
Sorry. Down by where he touched his claw. He
You
just
sort of put the claw. You put Frederick down. The claw opens. Sort of closes over Frederick and pulls back its arm and tucks it underneath this huge body of this dragon.
I don't think I need him anymore. Good night. Sleep well. And then he does his little prayer.
You feel
And-
like someone is humming along with you as you do.
And yeah, and then he walks back to the group and head up.
And the rest of you all sort of make your way back up to this, up through this tunnel, away from this dragon. You feel like you can hear that snoring now, like it echoes within you after hearing that sound. And you head back up into his hut, and Alia guides you to your own. A very similar hut, in fact. You start to think everyone lives the same here, even though Borvir may be the head here. There's no hierarchy in possessions or any such thing. As you walk into this hut and you see the furs laid out for both sleeping on, being comfortable. You see food. You see drink. What would you like to do as you settle down for the evening, if you wish to settle down for the evening?
Yeah, I think Vesh, just sort of overwhelmed by the whole experience, just sort of finds a spot, curls up, and
Tyron's already in there. Tyron has got a drink, propped himself up in the corner. You can see he's looked for something, but it doesn't look like he's found a pretty expensive cocktail. It's probably not something giants have full access to down here. Navi is snoring away on the furs. And Blue walks over to Emet. We saw a real dragon. A red one.
Yeah. We saw a real dragon. That was pretty cool.
It was bigger than a... He sort of seems to like blip out a little bit. Is it a toy I once had?
You had a red dragon toy.
I think so.
Maybe we'll look for another one.
That might be nice. And he sort of settles. He stands, he walks away into the corner, sits down, and it's like he's lost in thought for the first time properly. He's really thinking, he's looking at his hands, sort of feeling the fingertips, but just watching.
Emet kind of starts to wonder if maybe his mind will grow, but not in the same way. And then walks over to Vesh and puts his hand on Vesh's shoulder. And just kind of whispers in his ear, "I'm proud of you, Vesh."
thanks, Emet. I heard you talking about a red dragon toy with Blue.
Yeah, I guess he had one when he was newer.
So, I don't think you came with me, but when I went exploring in the House Canis house, the safe house, all the way up in the attic, I thought it was kids' room. 2 kids. And there was a red toy dragon up there. Do you think that might have been Blue's room?
Possibly.
That the Canis were raising them like children?
I don't know what they were doing with them. I don't know if they were raising them or just toys, companions for their children. How many beds were there?
2.
There were 2.
Yeah, that was probably Blue's room. He had a room.
Wow. So it's interesting. So Blue was almost like the Canth's child, but we also saw the giant warforged there as well. They've been doing you know, I guess bad things for a long time. And with the Traveler as well.
Yeah. Sounds like this all may have started with them making deals with the Traveler.
Well, we can solve it, I guess, in the morning.
Yeah. We'll take care of everything in the morning. Sleep well,
Right.
Besh.
Good night, Emmett. Good night, River.
You're muted, River.
Said, good night, everyone.
And with that, you all can drift off to sleep. Blue's still looking at his fingertips and almost chatting to himself. And everyone, we're going to take a really quick break, and then we will be back in just a moment. So see you all in a second. Oh, hi. We're back quickly until the end of the show. So everyone heads to bed. Blue sort of twizzling his fingers about, and he seems to be nattering to himself, but otherwise you all get a very good night's sleep. And it is dark outside. All the lamps have been turned off, and all you hear are the crickets and the sort of maybe the crackling of one or two fires that have been left burning, probably in the blacksmiths. And I do need you all to make a perception check for me, please.
Perception.
Oh, wow, okay. Emmet is on it. Oh, whoa, okay.
Wow.
Wow, okay. All three of you, as you lay there, you've been so used to this silence. You've been listening to these crickets and heard nothing else. But you hear a creak on the floorboards. And you hear heavy breathing, just... Something enters your hut. You can tell they're trying to be quiet, but you've been in such a serene sort of sleep where everything is silent. Just now, anything out of the ordinary, you can hear it. You hear those creaking footsteps.
So, because Emet pretty much always posts up near any sort of weak point in the defensive structure of where they're sleeping, I assume he was like by the door.
There's a door and there's two like windows that open up. So do you think he'd be by the door?
Okay.
Like Blue's currently sat underneath one of the windows. That's
If
where
it was under one window, then Emet would probably be in between both. And when this happens, Emet probably, I guess, allows whoever it is to come in and pass him, and then attempts. Oh wait, no, wrong button. Never mind. I got excited for no reason. Attempts, let's try that again, to stealth up on and just like bear grab whoever it is.
It is very dark in here, so if anything, you just see a shadow, like the shape, the outline shape. They just see a shadow of you if they were to turn around, but you are stealthed your way. Would anyone like to react to their perception checks as well as this happens? Because Emet is right next to this.
I think Vesh, seeing as the last time someone came into a room he was asleep in, people got shot.
Yeah. A little on edge now.
I don't think he jumps up, but I think that I think probably what, if this person was looking at Vesh, they would notice, little flickers of sparks as, hit that sort of lightning and thunder storm energy just starts to build a little bit. It's not like he's not casting a spell, but there, that sort of tension in him that's always sort of been before something, he leaps or falls into action, is sort of starting to play in.
Yeah.
And River does the same thing, prepares, like, grabs her weapon. It's kind of on guard.
Yeah. Okay. So River, it's your nose that gets it first, if anything. You can smell this damp, sort of dank smell more than anything at first. And it's strange. It's like an old sort of wet smell, and then Vesh, it's that static is building in your fingertips as it happens, and you see Emet creep very well up on this shadow that you can see with that tiny hint of light has a blade drawn before Emet bear hugs him and completely grabs this man who you hear absolutely wail and scream at this moment. And you've got him Emet, could you please roll me an athletics to hold onto him?
I sure will. 22 is my number tonight.
22. You clamp yourself around this person. It is still pretty dark. But he is secure, and he is kicking, he is flailing apart from his arms that are down by his side, but he's doing everything he can to throw you off.
Right, let's see. Do I notice the static electricity going on over in Vesh's little corner?
I think, well, I think with you, with his eyes, again, I think my eyes probably open. I'm just watching, seeing you come forward again with my perception. I assume that I actually did see your stealth, and seeing the blade. I think Vesh kind of leaps up, and I mean doesn't come within right up next to him, but kind of leaps up and kind of lets that let that lightning be a little more. I mean, not. It's kind of like, when you kind of blink a taser at someone, it's kind of more like, and I, not knowing that necessarily that River's up, I'm like, River, there's someone here.
I see Vesh, I see.
Anyone
I'm
have
ready.
a light?
I probably do. A torch or something. I have a torch.
I was going to say, do I have light? Well, I've got light.
Probably have either light, or that there were torches in this house. You just need to light them.
Okay, I can light the torches. Yeah. I can see in the dark too, though.
Oh.
Yeah. You light up, and in your grasp, Emet, is a very pale, ill-looking Cole Kenneth. His eyes are sunken in. He doesn't look well, especially since you saw him, Vesh. But Vesh, in fact, roll me a perception check, please, Vesh.
Emet's grip gets a little tighter once he realizes who he has in his
You
arms.
realize who it is, and he is very weak. He's very, very, you can see that there's not much of him anymore. And Vesh, you look at him, and he did not look like this when you saw him. In fact, he was a mighty sort of figure of a man. And you also suspect it's not been a long enough amount of time for him to now look like this.
Vesh sort of looks at him then and goes, you're supposed to be in prison, but I saw you just a little while ago, and then it kind of clicks. You've been in the dreaming dark.
And he sort of, it's almost like his voice is a hiss. It's like almost he hisses at you, especially when you light the torch. She's like, you're the boy I met on the road, the one I gave my dagger. And and he suddenly realizes, it's like it takes a while to click, he's being held by a warforged. And he almost relaxes a bit and goes, put me down.
If warforged could have a deep barreling chuckle, when you're hugging someone, you laugh, you can feel their chest move. It's exactly what would be happening. But since I don't breathe, that doesn't happen. Instead, he imitates a laugh and just goes, no. And then laughs harder, thinking that's the greatest joke in the entire world.
I am a Kenneth. You will put me down.
No. Here, ask me again. I actually kind of enjoy this. Say it again.
I am a Kenneth. Put me down, like that. And he sort of tries to, but you can hear such a scraping in his voice. And Blue sort of gets up and actually walks over to you where you're holding him and starts looking at him, taking his face and looking at him up and down. And he says again, I am a Kenneth. Put
you are
me down.
Guess what? Still no.
And he then starts to thrash wildly again with that roll. He can't get out, he can't do anything. He's like, the shield, just give me the shield and I'll go.
No.
Give me the shield.
Here, Blue, it's your turn. You can tell him no.
And Blue leans in and looks very closely at Cole. It's like, no.
We don't know that River's awake yet, right?
No,
River.
River's...
Lit the torches.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, yeah.
Here, River, you can tell him no now.
I don't know who you are, but you're not getting anything from us.
And he's just so frustrated, just starts like sort of throwing himself about. And
I can make you stop all this struggling. I don't do it to him. I just put it up like in his face. Can I do an intimidation? For once, can that be intimidating? Come on, dice. Come on, dice. Come on, dice. Come on, dice. Come on.
Come on.
You know what? I'm going to use a reroll. Damn it.
Oh,
I wish I would have had advantage. Look at that, the 1 and the 7. I'm scary to some people, but no.
Some people, you are scary.
While Vesh is trying to intimidate him, Emet just kind of like squeezes a little bit harder and be like, you will look terrified right now. And whispers that into his
There he goes. Yes, he's not. There's the 1 in the 26. He's not scared of me at all, but he makes me think he's.
How you see it is Vesh, you walk up with this static, and you've got that look on your face, and Emet, you squeeze that little bit, and Vesh, you actually hear Cole like gasp, sort of like again. You think it's sort of like, okay, yeah, no, I'm sorry.
Right.
Yes.
Emmett, what do we do with him now?
That's what I was just about to ask.
He's literally just grabbed him.
You can't have the shield. He had a dagger or something, right?
Yeah, no, he asked if you still had yes, he had like a sword, he had like a rapier.
Oh, the rapier. Did he drop it when he was struggling, or does he still have it?
Oh no, he's dropped it. That clattered to the floor when him.
I'll take that.
Right. Okay. No, please. I just need to open the door and then I will be free of him, please.
I bet Volva would be interested to know how you got out of the prison.
No, wouldn't.
Oh, should I go get him?
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna go get him.
And he starts that you're going to hear him physically choking, like on his own words. And yes, River, you can head out of the hut and work your way towards him. And whilst you're waiting and you're holding Cole, you do see how weathered he looks, and his skin almost looks grey. And to you, Vesh, he looks older, maybe. I'm not too sure.
See, I was trying to explain this at dinner last night. When you do things bad for the world, it ends up doing bad stuff to you. Why do people not understand this? It seems pretty straightforward.
It does.
And Blue is still sort of going over and just poking Cole in the face, not understanding and looking at his face. And then he looks. Cole. And he keeps repeating the name, just Cole. And Cole pauses and looks. Where did you get this Warforged?
Why?
Where did you get the Warforged? What is that on his arm? Like, what? That arm doesn't even fit him properly. Like, is he sort of looking at Blue?
It's the only one we could find at the time. We'll find him a better one.
We got him a new eye when his eye got shot out.
Shot out. And Cole has stopped moving, like he's stopped fighting. He's just hanging there now. And he sort of tips his head and looks over to Blue. You can see him really trying to think. Warden, is that you? And Blue just looks his head, pokes him a few more times. My name is Blue. You are Cole. And it's like Blue freezes for a moment. And his eyes flicker green to blue to yellow as they start doing like a light dance, if anything, as it goes over and over. I prefer Blue. And Blue walks away and goes and stands on the other side and looks out the window, as if standing guard once more.
What happened to the other one? Oh, I don't know that.
Don't worry, I was gonna.
I love how quick you're like, no! That's not mine!
So, in a very, very good imitation of Vesh, Emet says, what happened to the other one?
And Cole looks back. The other Warforged, you mean?
The child Warforged.
Yes. The other one.
Yes, that's what I just said.
And you think he's not making sense anyway. He's just not really getting with it. And he's I think it was Hunter. I think. I don't know. I didn't want them.
You want? Were they made for you?
Yes. And he sort of like scowls over at Blue, if anything. When you have an imperfect son and your father builds two better ones, what do you expect?
Oh. Interesting. Not what I had guessed.
And you can see Cole is scowling now, like really scowling. He's like, Hunter went too far.
Vesh is doing exactly that.
And what did you do to Hunter?
I didn't do anything.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good.
And he casts his eyes over to Blue.
Huh. What did Blue do to Hunter?
He
What
did as I
did
told him.
Tell Blue today. Yep. Okay, there it is.
Destroyed him. Got rid of him. Took him to pieces one by one.
Yep, that's what. Okay.
And like Cole is seething like a child. Like it's almost like he's reverted to a 6-7-year-old jealous little boy. They're not better than us. He's looking at Vesh now. They're not perfect. They can't be made perfect. They can't be made childlike. They can't replace me.
Emet kind of shrugs and goes, well, from the sounds of it, I think Blue was the better son than you.
And there's a silence. And his head sort of drops, if anything.
A lot of us have parental issues. You should probably think harder before taking yours out on those around you.
It's okay. He's not affected by it. Well, he's not fully affected by it. It's not like he can remember. I know how to make them as well, you know. I made him disappear. Can't remember it. Give him a larger body. No one will know how to look for him.
I don't think you're gonna get the chance to do that.
He's defective.
He's perfect.
You talk about your son that way.
And Cole just like he glares. Only Vesh can see this because of the way you've grabbed him. So Vesh can see Cole's face. And that touched a nerve. He went and he starts sort of babbling and breaking up sentences. He's just like, he's not perfect. I was perfect. And then they
Oh. See, Cole, that's the problem.
What is the problem?
You're trying to be perfect.
That's what they
Gosh.
wanted.
The whole trick took me a while to figure out is everyone's broken. We're all just broken in different ways. And sometimes when you find the right people, all your pieces fit together to become a whole picture. I mean, well, you see how strong Emmett is. That's kind of how we go up and down stairs lately. A lot of the time, actually. I'm getting better, though.
You handled the bridge just fine.
Yeah, see?
And
You keep trying to be something that you never could be, and kept listening to them if they kept asking you.
And you can see Cole is like biting his lips and you can see him almost nodding with you. And he breaks a little bit. Well, I made a deal and now I've got to fulfill it. It didn't even give me what I wanted.
That's kind of the other thing we've learned. No one ever gives you what you think they're going to. You've got to don't accept gifts that you haven't earned because they're just a lie.
And there's that scowl again as you say that. And Blue walks back over. Cole, you seem sad. And Cole's just like, no, I'm fine. You seem frustrated. And again, you hear that muffle of, no, I'm fine, Warden. I'm fine. Please refrain from calling me Warden. That's your name. the name it was given to you.
The name's Blue now. Whispered very threateningly into his ear again.
My name is Blue now, almost imitating Emmet. I don't like Warden. I miss Hunter. I don't like Cole. I feel sorry for Cole. And Blue stays there staring at him. And looks to him one more time before he turns. You broke my dragon. And he walks away.
Well, I think Blue just summed it up, Cole.
I know that face.
No, I think Vesh would put this together.
Hmm.
You broke Blue's dragon and told him it was Hunter. Didn't you?
I dropped it. Stupid things aren't made properly anyway, always so fragile. Once you drop it once, every time you drop it, it breaks again.
But you blamed it on Hunter.
I don't understand what you're getting at here. Blue does as he was told. Blue, not Blue, it's Warden. Warden did as he was told.
He might kind of shakes him a little bit. It's Blue.
Blue, yes, okay, Blue did as he was told. That helped, maybe. Doesn't matter. He did as he was told.
That's a horrible thing to tell someone to do.
He's
Unlike
just a Warforged.
Blue, I don't feel sorry for you. Blue is a better being than I am.
And Cole stays silent. I just made another one.
How can someone supposedly be so smart and make such amazing things be so blind?
Cole looks up at you with very cold eyes. Don't know what you mean. He does. You can tell. He knows exactly what you mean.
In lots of my old stories, there's armies and soldiers and generals and majors and all the people, and they followed orders just like they were told. Sometimes did terrible things just like they were told. But it didn't mean that they weren't a person. Once you got past following orders. The proof's right behind you. Hey, Emmett.
Yeah.
Tell him no again.
Okay. No.
Now do it, not because I told you to, because you want to.
Oh,
Or
don't
not.
worry. That was because I wanted to also.
Cole scowls. Fine. You've doomed me. But fine.
You doomed yourself. Not taking the traveler's gifts is like a child's rhyme, I thought.
When it's been in your family for so long, you accept it.
Really? Because I'm a warforged. Telling Cole Kenneth no.
And you see that twinge of real annoyance. Well, what are you going to do then? What are you going to do?
Well, River should be back with Bulva any time now.
And River, you can be making your way back with Bulva. He's very tired. You get the feeling he's not 100% understood what you've said, but he is following you anyway.
Okay, well, that's probably because River doesn't 100% understand what she said. She doesn't know who this guy is, but she knows that they don't like him.
Bulva will step into the hut with River, sleepily. His eyes drift from all of you to Cole, and then to Emmet, to Cole again. And Cole, you see visibly shrink into Emmet's arms, almost like he'd much rather be here now. And Bulva just sighs. Oh, Cole. I really don't like you. And he reaches out and looks to Emmet, and he's got this out. He's like, may I?
Emmet shrugs. Because Emmet knows if he were to actually hold on to Cole much longer, he might just crush him. Like, oh, whoops. Not wanting to do a bad thing.
Yeah, whoopsie daisy.
Gives him over.
And this giant hand clamps around Cole. And he walks back towards the doorway. I am very sorry that he disturbed your rest. I will bring the shield to you in the morning. Please, you can stay with me tonight. And there's a smile on his face. And a visible shudder from Cole. And Boover goes to duck out the door.
I don't think that's going to be like a sleepover.
No, I don't think it is.
You can hear in the distance like a slight sort of high-pitched voice, sort of a squeal as you sort of hear something like, well, if you can't be trusted on your own, and sort of disappears off into the night. And you are left again in this hut. Blue stands by the window and watches Cole get carried away.
Wow. That was informative and unexpected.
Yeah.
Who was that? Or is that one of those long stories?
It's Blue's brother.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Blue's brother. Okay.
Oh.
Who am I to question?
Blue stands by that window. He walks over to you briefly, all three of you, looks down He looks up. I had forgotten. I did not lie.
I know, Blue. That's okay.
I like your arm.
He looks down. I like my arm. It's too small. Like me.
Well, he did kind of answer a question for us.
What question?
You can be whatever you want to be. He said you don't look at all like you did before.
No. I changed.
So, but you're still blue. So no matter what you want to look like on the outside, River's getting pretty good with her tools.
That's true.
If you want to, I don't know if we can try to do Mossy Beard, but I mean, if you want to look like Amat or some of the other Warforged or
Maybe
whatever.
one day. I like, and he just sort of reaches out and touches his face. He's like, I like this for now. Though, and he sort of like lowers his head. I understand. I am not a good guy. I killed Hunter. I think that's what it's called. I took him to bits, which ended him.
You know what, Blue? While they sleep, why don't we have story time?
I would like that. And
Good.
you can go back to sleep. And the rest of the evening, there's no creeping Colcaneth. All the way through, there's nothing. Unless there is anything else you would like to do.
I give Blue a hug before I go to sleep. That Vesh does.
Yeah, as you do it, if it's almost like he goes rigid for a moment and doesn't understand what's happening. But you feel an arm come round your shoulder and just a slow, very rhythmic pat.
Yeah. Maybe we could make that right too.
How?
I don't know. I would have told you there was no way to fix the mists of Cyre. But tomorrow we're going to try.
I'm looking forward to it, I think.
Was Hunter a good guy or a bad guy?
He was kind. He was good. He used to play soldiers.
I see.
He didn't like dragons.
Who doesn't like dragons?
I didn't understand either. Blue blinks once. I'm sorry to have caused you any issues. It won't happen again. My name is Blue.
are, Blue. It's a good name for you.
Thank you. And you can all catch up on sleep for the rest of the evening. You stay up, chatting to Blue. If anything, he starts to tell you a story about a red dragon.
Emmett kind of like sits Blue down on his lap and lets Blue tell stories. And Emmett will tell Blue stories of the things that Emmett is ashamed of that he did. And just kind of attempt to convince Blue that it's our fault, but it's not completely our fault that we listen to orders.
And you feel for the first time he's really listening, like absorbing all the information. He nods, which he doesn't tend to do, but he nods, he agrees. He tells you a bit more about Hunter, the small warforged twin, effectively. The one that didn't like dragons, but always wanted to play the good guys, wanted to play the soldiers.
He sounds like he was a good brother, Blue.
And Blue says he was. And the evening goes on as this happens. And soon the city starts to wake up again. You hear that bustling outside, you hear those wonderful sort of that laughter raining out. You can feel the giant's footsteps on the ground as they walk past your hut. It's all lit up. Those gorgeous smells sort of fill your nostril once more, that wood smoke, as you can hear them all be lit up. But then there is something different. A rumble. A rumble in the earth. One that wakes you. You hear the alarmed voices of giants, the confusion, not too sure themselves what is going on. And there's a strange feeling about everything. Everything feels hot. What do you do?
Oh.
You are muted, Vesh.
Wake everyone up if they're not, and then I guess, Emmett, what's going on? We should see.
Yeah, Emmett would run to the door and windows and see if he can.
There is that huge rumble once again. It's almost like an earthquake is starting to happen. And then there is a roar. And that ground starts to shake even more as the houses start to crack. As the ground beneath you emits as you look down, bursts open. Huge boulders, debris, and dust erupt almost like a volcano from the earth, striking houses, people moving out of the way, running aside, grabbing their possessions. As a dragon, the dragon erupts from the earth.
Still Vesh. Ask what's going on.
Somebody made a dragon.
Just turns and goes, do you want to see a red dragon when it's awake? Well, you might not get a choice, because...
Yeah, I think... Wait, why is he angry?
Who woke him up?
Probably because he was woken up.
War. They said war.
You hear Buvar yelling. You're not too sure what. There's Vesh as you look out of this window. And you see Ilborg soar upwards and crash through the ceiling, letting in this natural sunlight, almost crashing its way out of the mountain. Rocks begin to fall. And you can see, just caught on the end of one of its claws, Frederick. And that is where we will leave Eberron this week.
Who's Frederick? Yikes.
My little owl bear.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
And I gave him.
Almost adorable place to end it and scary at the same time.
Yeah.
I can't decide.
Oh my goodness.
So, everyone okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, woken a dragon. It's all good. It's fine. He wasn't mad at you.
Yeah.
You would have known if he was mad at you.
What I'm worried about is what he's off to go be angry at, which I'm afraid is the
Yeah.
Lord of Blades.
That's what it's like. What else woke up?
Yeah. Two things. You saw two things hibernating, two things sleeping. Not anymore.
That bad guy shows up and then a dragon wakes up? Is that a coincidence?
That's the other thought I had. Ooh. Oh, next week's gonna be exciting.
We're slowly
Yep.
coming to the end. We've got 2 left after
I was going
this.
to say only 2 episodes, so.
Oh no.
2 episodes after this. So, without further ado, everyone, thank you so much for coming to play today. Also, thank you, chat. You've been awesome. Please check out our links, the Discord, Twitter, all of those shenanigans. Please go check them out. And this stream is brought to you by the wonderful sponsors, that is Bird in the Storm and Mayhem Press. So please go check them out as well. Otherwise, to find out what happens, come back next week and let's go see what that dragon's chasing. Keep evoking emotions, guys, and we'll see you later. Bye.
Bye.